they work so hard for their homes that they're not going to give up on it. But when your home that has served you so well for so many years is not serving you anymore in this season, it's time for you to let another family come in and love that home.
Hello, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, your reverse mortgage experts, and you've found the Serving Seniors podcast, where I highlight those businesses and those individuals that help seniors not just get by, not just survive, but thrive in retirement. And today we have another one of those awesome people. We have Miss Haven Gooch, and Haven is the Director of Sales and Marketing at Charter Senior Living in Franklin. And we're so glad to have her here today. How are you doing, Haven?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
You're so welcome. I really appreciate you being here. And I really love your one Halloween decoration.
Thank you. They don't give me a lot of creativity space, but you got to get it where you can.
That is so cool. I think I've watched that show probably about 40 times, and it's always with my dad. That's his favorite show. So that's pretty cool. That's so good. As you could guess, we're close to Halloween, but Haven has been involved with senior living for a while. So she's going to share with us kind of her background and how she got into it. And then most importantly, why she does what she does and how she serves seniors. So Haven, maybe you could take us from the beginning, like where you're from, what you've done in the past, and then how did you fall into serving seniors?
Sure. So I am originally from Appalachia. So my grandparents are from Highlands and Cashiers, North Carolina. I spent a lot of time there, but home base as a child of divorce was always in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
So I call myself a Carolina girl through and through. It's a brand that only true Carolinians get. But with that, I was able to spend a lot of time with my grandparents and their friends. And my mom was a young mom, and we had a bunch of kiddos running around. So we just kind of went wherever we could. And through that, I found myself being drawn to that population more and more. I have a little brother. He's 12 years younger than me. His name is Travis, and he has Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. So I actually have a clinical background. I'm not your normal sales director. There's really not a lot in the industry that have that strong clinical background like myself. So definitely a unique person that started in the hospital system. I was 18 years old when I started with a home care company, and I was managing referrals, going in and out of people's homes, setting them up with care, matching on the caregivers. And then after I completed my certification for patient care tech, I went into the hospitals. Wow. So I served adult step down, postpartum, med surge, pediatric ICU is where I ended my clinical experience all the way through COVID.
Wow.
So I remember opening up Sean Jenkins Children's Hospital. They had the new hospital downtown Charleston, and we were moving patients, kiddos from the main hospital with the old curtains and just like really kind of ghetto feelings into the big shiny hospital. And then we got hit 2 months later with COVID in a brand new hospital, which looking back, thank God it happened like that, because if we were in the old hospital with all those kids in COVID, they probably would not have had the outcomes that they did. But we also were expecting my first kiddo when all of that happened. So that's how I ended up back with seniors. I had the root of home care. I was burnt out from COVID and just had my baby.
Okay, good. And did that prompt the move to Tennessee?
It did. So my husband's a big duck hunter. So we like to joke that we're a little bit of a redneck family.
That's okay.
But that means we're fun, right? So there's better ducks here in Tennessee than South Carolina. We had a 5-year plan. By kindergarten, we wanted to be in Tennessee, and that was turned into a 30-day plan pretty quick when the opportunity arose. And so we came, and we've been here ever since. So it's going on our 3rd year, and I've since made changes, and now I'm with the Charter family, and I love it. I don't really picture myself doing anything different. My grandparents were an anchor to me, and my grandma actually passed, house fire. My grandfather had Alzheimer's, so I have very traumatic and very real life experiences that these families bring to me that they do in my head every single day.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, maybe tell us a little bit more about, if you could give us maybe some concrete examples of, seniors you've worked with that were in a difficult situation that you were able to come in and with your expertise and your facilities and things like that, be able to really improve them and help them.
Sure. My favorite is the resistant, slightly demented, 80 plus
Okay.
old, fiery, either older gentleman or older lady. Those are my top notch. If it's a gentleman, I want him to be a veteran if I had to pick my favorite person.
Wow.
But when I think of somebody specifically, I think of Miss Ruth. I think of when she was at home and she was with her daughter and she was adamant that she was not going to go anywhere. She would die here. She loved her home. When I was able to come in and let her get comfortable with me and see that, hey, I'm not selling you something. I'm just trying to show you what your life could be. Maybe what you didn't plan for, what your parents never knew to expect because these models didn't exist when they were aging. So once we kind of went through all of those hard conversations, lots of cuss words, lots of attitude to her daughter and all the things that she had going on, the root of it was that she was so proud of what her husband had built in that home and everything that they had struggled with when their kids were small and all of the financial hardships and everything that they broke as far as glass ceilings and generational things that she shared with me through her hard times and her families and how they grew up poor and on a farm and had nothing. And she didn't want to walk away from all that. And so the bulk of being a senior living director or anything in this type of industry, which, with homes, you gotta separate the practical versus from the emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so hard because you have to validate what Miss Ruth was feeling about being attached to her home and letting her know that it's okay, that it's not serving you anymore. And it's okay to go to this next step that you might not have planned, but you got to change normal as normal changes for you.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. So you're able to get them in a better situation.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if it was better because she's still Miss Ruth, but she was able to be socialized and her food intake was monitored and we were able to make sure that she was taking her medications appropriately. So she was able to thrive in all of those umbrellas and those little safety nets that the family desperately needed and Ruth needed too. She just wouldn't agree to.
Wow. That's awesome. That's a great example. That's so cool.
Thanks.
Well, maybe tell us a little bit more about how you're able to handle those situations. I like to say it like this. What are your superpowers that really allows you to handle these seniors and causes you to gravitate to these scenarios?
I am not afraid to look at them and talk to them like they're a person. I think there's too many times where people look at children or look at seniors as a demographic and they speak to them as such. Mm. There's been many times, for example, my son, who's 4, he's smart. He's very smart. He's grown up around seniors his entire life, as did I. And he's got a wealth of emotional intelligence that you just don't normally see. So it ticks him off when people talk to him like he's a 4-year-old because he's like, hold on, I'm not there. You've got to meet me where I'm at. Same thing with seniors. I don't think a lot of people either want to or they're scared to, or the kids come in too hot and heavy, like they're trying to raise their parents and that role reversal, and they're just doing the best they can. I think my superpower is meeting them where they're at, meeting everybody where they're at. I speak to a baby the same way I would a senior. We're all people and we all have a purpose. That's
awesome. So having some really strong empathy and being able to move to the other side of the table and understand where they're coming.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
And I'm not afraid to talk about the elephants in the room. So it's life. Everybody goes through it. We shouldn't be ashamed to talk about falls or missed meds or anything like that.
Right. Yep. Most definitely. That's great. Yeah, because it's going to come out eventually. Why prolong
exactly.
That? It's probably going to get worse if you don't hit it head on. So that's awesome. Most people need someone like you to address the elephant, even if it's a purple, white, whatever color the elephant is. We're ready to go take it.
Not crimson and white. That's not the way I go.
There you go. Now that's a good one. That's pretty good. So you, South Carolina, North Carolina, don't care.
Believe it or not, I'm a Georgia fan.
Okay.
Yep. Go Dogs. My brother graduated from the University of Georgia. So it's an honor to support them and what they've done for him. And then my grandparents had a house in South Georgia, so lots of roots there. and my dad was an Alabama fan. So really good to go against him.
Oh my gosh, that's and then you got the last laugh this year. Tennessee thought they had them.
Well, there's actually a really funny story. I was going to save this for lattes and laughter tomorrow, but I think I'll share it with you first.
Okay, let's hear it.
So the season that Alabama took Georgia in the main games, and we got into the World Championship where it was Georgia and Alabama again. It was 2021, and Georgia beat them. That was the year my dad passed. My dad passed of a heart attack. And so my brother called me. Normally my dad would turn his phone off for a week or two. He is a very bad loser.
Wow.
Probably why I'm good at hard conversations with parents, but very bad loser. And he was passed, who was buried in Highlands already at this point. And my brother calls me. He's like, oh my gosh, Dad would be so upset. I can't believe it. I'm just quiet. Cool as a cucumber. I've worked in senior living for 10 years now, so my humor is not great. And I just go, well, I bet he's rolling in his grave. Roll Tide.
Oh, no.
And my brother lost it. He was cackling so hard he couldn't even finish the conversation. But that's just how our family was. So,
wow, that's awesome. The only thing that could have been better is you're like, let's call his voicemail, even though he's not with us, and leave him the message.
No, I think we would still be disowned at this. I don't think we're that brave.
Okay.
I can talk to other dads like that, not my dad.
Oh my gosh. Well, we'll see how it turns out. There's a big game this weekend, Tennessee and Bama.
I know. I honestly, I don't know who's going to take it. They're both kind of on fire this year, so pretty comfortable.
Should be a good game. Yeah, that's great. Well, hey, maybe tell us in your current role, like as someone is analyzing if they should, the catchphrases, right? Age in place, right, or if they should look at a senior living facility. Maybe some of the things that you look at when you're saying, hey, I'm looking at your situation. You should stay home as long as you can. I'm looking at your situation. It looks like you should move into somewhere, and also maybe address it's not a nursing home, right? What's the difference would be awesome as well.
My favorite question. So as a blanket statement, whenever you're looking on if you should age in place, like in your home, or if you should have a senior living plan, whatever that might be, the biggest thing is don't have a set and steady plan. You need to have variable plans because we're humans and life happens. Sickness happens, diseases, falls, you name it.
Yeah.
And if you have a concrete plan, you're going to set yourself up for failure, or you're going to set yourself up for promises that you're making your kids make when you get to the point of an unexpected journey.
Okay.
So my recommendations is if you're able to stay at home and it's not affecting your activities of daily living, so your bathing, your dressing, your medication management, is it affecting your food preparation? Is it affecting your transportation? But the biggest indicator on if it's time for senior living or not is your socialization, because you can get assistance with those activities of daily living through home care companies, home health, friends, family, churches, your community, your village, right? But when you're not able to have your cup poured into on a consistent basis, that is going to take you on a downhill spiral faster than any disease ever could. Isolation is the number one killer of our seniors today. It is. And unfortunately, with the stigma of nursing homes versus assisted livings or ALF communities, as the state calls them, there's a lot of questions that people don't know how to answer. They don't really know what to expect because, like I said, it's a new model. So when you're coming into assisted livings, we're looking for your activities for daily living, what type of assistance you need, but most importantly, you're looking at your socialization and your quality of life.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that completely makes sense because I'm sure people say things to their kids like, only take me out of here feet first, and I want to stay in the house forever, and those type of things.
All the time.
And that is really hard if the makes it challenging to pivot when you say things in absolutes like that, I'm sure.
Right. And it's hard. I mean, there's always going to be seniors who, like this group, they work so hard for their homes that they're not going to give up on it. But when your home that has served you so well for so many years is not serving you anymore in this season, it's time for you to let another family come in and love that home and let you still love your family.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about the 2x4s that surround you. It's the love that you filled it with.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. And then you never know how it's going to work out. But I believe what you're saying is that you also probably you're either by yourself or there's just two of you, and you go to someplace where there's more people, and then you find another family. Hopefully, you create a separate family of people your age with like wants and needs, and they want to pour into each other, where you can find someone to fill your cup, and you can also fill other people's cups as well with your new family at the senior living facility.
That's right. But I think we also need to acknowledge that senior living is scary. It's like a senior high school or senior college dorm vibe for
your first day. Yeah, first day.
Right. Yeah, they don't know what to wear. Nobody talks about this. Nobody prepares you for this. It's kind of like a taboo subject. Honestly, my best advice is just come in, you be you, because you were created as your own person. You have a cool story to tell. And I guarantee you, not anybody in this building has the same story as you do.
Wow.
So you're going to find somebody. We're not going to force you as far as charter goes. We're not going to force you to do your activities. You can do as much as you want. Okay. And the cool thing about the industry as a whole is it's just like a neighborhood. If you don't like where you're at, come try it for a couple months, give it a good shot, and then check out another community. Like, you're not set in to anything unless you go into like a big buy-in community.
Okay. That's great. No, that makes a lot of sense. And I think another concern we hear a lot about, either in-home care or we hear about assisted living, is just, a lot of these people grew up when they back in Christian time, etc. So they're really all about pinch and pennies, right? So even if they have a little money, they're always worried about losing it. And then that's what we love about what we do. Hey, you may have not a lot of money in the bank account, but a lot of your money may be buried in backyard in the form of equity.
Yes.
But the challenge is, right, you can't tell the in-home care, hey, charge you to equity. They can't tell you, hey, put my rent for my husband, since I'm living at home, my husband's in the facility, put the rent on my equity, right? That doesn't work that way. So that's where we come in, as we show them how they can convert a small percentage of their equity to usable cash. So then they have the money that they need, because it stinks. I mean, it's heartbreaking when people tell me they don't have any money. And then if you look online, they've got like a $400,000 home paid off, then maybe even a half a millionaire, right? A 500,000 of equity in their house. And they're telling me they don't have any money, but it just is in the wrong form.
No, that's a big problem. You're right. You're a huge asset to what we do, because you hit it on the head. The seniors today do not understand the wealth of money that they're sitting on in their living room.
Right.
Unsocialized and unsupervised.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
They just don't know. But I mean, it's okay. I mean, I think that all we can do is just educate. And my thing is, if I tell one person about what they can do, then I've done my job today.
Exactly. No, that's great. Yeah. So if they're going to stay home, we can have them stay home. And then if there's like a husband and wife, or there's one of the two move into a facility, but one's going to stay home, we can still show them. But if they both need to move into a facility, then that's where we can get a trusted real estate professional that knows their situation, that is very well trusted, that'll take the time to work with them. At that point, it makes sense to find the right person, but you need to move on.
Exactly.
And they need to go ahead and sell the house. And then that's probably all the money they need to be able to stay at your facility for a long period of time.
You'd be surprised how much, let's say, $350,000 can take you. I mean, on average in this industry, if you don't go for the top or the bottom and your care is kind of average, right? That's 3-4 years of senior living right there. Like, you don't have to think about that. And that's not even counting your Social Security or your dividends or anything that's coming in. And so I really like to sit down with my families and go through their finances, not so I know that you can afford my building, but so that you know that you can afford whatever you want. And this can be your journey that you own. You mentioned something I wanted to touch on. It's kind of my favorite topic, but other than the whole senior living thing, everything else is my favorite topic. But couples. I have seen so many, and it's not just husbands or wives, right? But I have seen so many couples break down because they have done everything that they can to hold it all together. They're masking their symptoms from their kids. They're trying to do it all on themselves because they took an oath. They vowed to each other that in sickness and in health that they would be by each other. And I think what a lot of this generation and the generation coming that we need to advocate is that does not mean that you are the sole caregiver. Mm-hmm. When you take a vow before God or before your pastor or whatever you did when you married your person, and you said in sickness and health, that means that you will make sure that you have the resources available or the village around you to take care of them, not that you have to be the only person.
Yeah.
So I love to let families know that you don't have to be a superhero.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, we got a call last year or from a gentleman, and he said he called like 20 different banks, and we were the first one that answered and did reverse mortgages. And the reason why he called is because his wife was 75, he was 80, but she had dementia, and she was her body was in really good shape, so she was a wanderer, and she would be all over the house. And he was really worried because he was 80 years old. If he broke a hip chasing around the house, then they were both in big trouble. So he was smart enough to kind of do what you're saying is he knew he needed to hire someone to help, thus in-home care. The challenge is that he had almost all of his wealth was tied up in his house. So he learned enough to know that reverse mortgage just means that you still own your house, still sell the house, but he just didn't have to be stuck with a huge monthly payment if he didn't want to. So we were able to give him money. And now he's got in-home care coming. They can chase her around the house. He can still take care of her. He's still the provider, but he has younger people that to really chase her and keep her safe and keep them safe as well. So I think that's a good example of what you're talking about.
No, 100%. Everybody needs to have a plan, and everybody needs to have a village. So raising parents is hard. They don't teach us how to do this in high school. But we need to remember that they have lived a whole life and they know a lot more than what we think they do, even though they're trying to walk without the walkers and hide all the symptoms that we know. So they need a little bit more support.
Sure. That's awesome. Well, that's a great example. I guess as we wrap up here, anything that I should have asked you that I didn't, or any more about your story that you want to share, just so people know who you are and what you're all about?
There's only one Haven Gooch in senior living. So if you guys ever need me as a resource, that's what I'm here for. I am here obviously as a sales director for Tugger, and I definitely want to keep them at a high occupancy like they are, but I'm here to serve. I'm here and pay the bit back. So thank you for having me on your podcast.
That's so cool. I really appreciate you saying that. And Haven, so because you are such a fantastic resource, how would people get in touch with you directly if they have any questions about you or your facility?
Sure. So my cell is probably the best way to get in touch with me. And it's 843-964-6096. So shoot me a text, give me a call.
That sounds great. Well, thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you for being who you are and taking such great care of these seniors.
Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. And thank you for watching the Serving Senior podcast, where I highlight these awesome people like Haven that help seniors not just get by, not just survive, but thrive in retirement. Thank you again. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.
Hey, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, home of retirement mortgage solutions. And we really do appreciate you checking out the Serving Seniors podcast today. Now, please go to the description down in the body of the podcast where you can subscribe to get future shows. Please click that notification button so you get notified when other shows drop. And also, if you can go to servingseniourspodcast.com, and we'd love to hear a comment about our show. We have a heart to serve seniors, and we have a heart to make sure seniors don't just survive retirement, don't just get by in retirement. We want to show seniors how to thrive in retirement. So if you know of anyone that's 55 and older that could use some extra cash flow, maybe the retirement's not going the way that they like, our retirement mortgage solutions are designed for folks, and depending on the state, they're either 55 or 62 and older, to make sure that they have that kind of retirement that they want as long as they own a home and they're in a good equity position, there could be some solutions that they may not have thought about, or maybe they've thought of and they just didn't know how they work. That's what we do. So anyone in that age group that could use some mortgage advice, my team and I would love to be able to help them. Thanks again, and look forward to seeing you on the next show. Have a great day.